Ah, this is on a serious vein. This is Victor God, Nostrovini's alter ego, for the serious business of the future. Now, first off, the world at large seems to be at the precipice of disaster, apocalypse, the end times, or just a really lousy few years. Anyway, if all these things come to pass that I am about to predict, Victor God, oh, and the vessel he lives within, Mr. Nostrovini, will probably no longer exist. Anyway, this video will be sent to a few chosen people at a chosen time. Anyway, first off, it is February 6th, 2022. We have a national crisis, or international crisis, if you will. Ukraine is about to be invaded by Russia, one of the largest military forces that has existed for offensive operations. The Russian army is about to, well, in Europe recently, I should say, correct myself, it's about to invade the Ukraine, causing a very bloody battle. NATO, the United States, will retaliate economically, but to an extent, impotently. Germany, it depends on Russian oil. And America cannot, at this point, given the Biden administration's policy on energy, supply oil to Germany. Now, what will happen? There will be a domino effect. Domino effect will be Russia will become a preeminent power. Much of Europe will go right-wing. The circumstances, these neo-fascistic regimes will get rid of the Muslim populations and also perhaps non-white populations. We're not so sure about that. It will depend on the country, country by country. England, France, we're not sure. Anyway, also, one of the domino effects of the situation will be the invasion of Taiwan. Bombardment, missiles, aerial bombardment, and a blockade of the island. Perhaps facilitated by a physical invasion. But I believe the situation will amphibious invasion. The United States will have a limited war, naval and aerial war with China, but be defeated. They're just a little too occupied with a woke military that it'll be, at this point, is quite comatose and asleep, and will be no match for a Chinese military, but especially when much of our resources will be also in a standoff situation with Russia. They will coordinate their battles. After the Olympics, Russia will attack Ukraine, and a little while later, as Russia attacks Ukraine, China will attack Taiwan. Now, this will facilitate a crisis within our nation, around the world. In the Middle East, the Iranians will go full tilt into developing atomic weapons and mechanisms of mass destruction. Israel, not in this position to allow this will have a war, a limited war, a nuclear war with Iran. The use of first strike nuclear weapons by Israel will facilitate a mass anti-Semitic program around the world. There will be millions, if not hundreds of millions, dying, both from the initial blasts and radiation, effects on the climate, starvation, plagues, things like that. Now, in the meantime, the United States will be thrown into its own preoccupation. The Biden administration will further its desire to impose a liberal dictatorship, the foreshadowing as we see now, and attempt to keep the tool of the gods, Donald Trump, from becoming president again. Declaring martial law and attacking Trump and Trump supporters, they will commit atrocities, which will be covered up initially by the media. But this will only make the blood of the war, and the United States will be plunged into a civil war based on race, ideology, class, and the diminution of resources. In the meantime, China will go into Asia. No, Africa. China is already in Asia, and will go into Asia and become the predominant power in Asia, and colonize and be guilty of genocide against the Black population of selected African states that have resources and land that China or Red China covets. Israel will face uprisings of its Muslim population, perhaps a strike on their nuclear fields after they strike out at Iran in a limited way, and will be overwhelmed by superior numbers and the backing that the Muslims will have via Russia and Red China. Now, let's see, our notes wow, how many people? Now, the thing is, the pandemic and disease will, among other things, cause the mass death of many, particularly weak. Perhaps the vessel I'm dwelling right now. Glasses, excuse me. Question: China neighbor war goes winging around your tour makes it. Yes. Weather, global warming will be speeding up. The mass starvation. Now, ironically, much of the problems with global warming will be stopped because virtually the civilization will fall, and the mass death of a billion, 6 billion, give or take a billion, will mean a lot more resources will be not used. Anyway, I might be wrong about this. Hopefully I am. I do like living. And also, I have plans that Nostradamus have a good time predicting the outcomes in boxing matches. And there are numerous other things going back to improv that I'd like to indulge in. Um, but that may not be in the cards. We have to be open to what seems to be the direction the world is going into. But fear not, it is not going to be the end times. The end times for many, maybe even most. But we're like the cockroach, a resilient race, we humans. I'm sure we'll survive as a species to some extent. Anyway, this has been Victor God, and brought to you by Nostrovini. I'll see if I make another one with these fellows. As I said, it's February, I believe 6th, or is it the 5th? Nah, I don't know this bad at dates. Anyway, I was going to take a newspaper and show the newspaper, but I'm a lazy woman. Can't find the newspaper. Good luck. Goodbye. Au revoir. Okay.